If you're still managing clients in overwhelmed spreadsheets, constantly copying and pasting info, this tutorial is for you. Today we are building a clean, fully functional CRM system inside Excel using VBA, completely with a searchable user form and automated record saving, all without any third-party tools. This works great for freelancers, consultants, and small teams who need a simple, no subscription solution to track clients, projects, or even leads right inside Excel. Let's get started. All right, let's get started creating the Mini CRM user form. First of all, we have our clients sheet here. We have 100 clients here, or prospects, and that's the back-end sheet we're gonna have to the user form. If you want this sheet, you can download it for free, link in the description. Then it's easier for you to follow along. So we go to Developer tab, Visual Basic, or Alt F11. Insert user form, and then we're gonna set the size first. So we're gonna set the height for the user form to 363 and set the width to 564. Then we have our name. We call it whatever we want, but I choose to call it FRM, short for user form, Mini CRM. And the caption can just be Mini CRM. You can see it change up here. Then we will have our labels, our boxes, check boxes, and buttons, and a list box to display what we have entered, what leads we have, and so on. We're gonna set our text box here. That's our full name. And we're gonna set the height to 18 and the width to 132. Like so. Move it around. Move it to here. Copy paste this 3 times. So we have our full name, company, email, and lead status. And our lead status is a combo box, because we don't want it to display with a free text. We want to control and have 3 options here: hot, warm, and cold. So we can just write here full name, company, email, status, lead status. Right click, align to the left. Then we can move this over a little bit. This up. We can always adjust it along the way. Then we're gonna have one more label here. We're just gonna call that search. This is here you're gonna search for your lead. And then we can just copy paste this. Maybe reduce the width for this one to 96. Then we have our list box in the bottom. Here's where we have all our leads from the sheet. Then we have our command buttons here. We need 3 of those. We need add, and let's change the size already. Let's set the height to 24 and the width to 72, like so. And then we're gonna copy paste it. Here we're gonna have send email, which is pretty cool. You can send follow-up emails, and I'm going to teach you that in this train. Let's move it here. And then the last one is clear form. So we can clear our filters here. Then we need 3 checkboxes. And this one, we're going to call it hot. The next one we're going to call warm. And our third one is cold leads. Then we're missing one more thing, and that's the label here. That's going to display how many search results we have from our filtering. We just set that to none because we need to program it to display the right amount of search results. That's our design. And now we're going to name the controls so it's easier to code. All right. Let's align this so it looks better. All right, we're going to call the text box for our full name, txt full name. Then we're going to call company text box for txt company. And call txt email. And our combo box, I'm going to call that CMB status. And our search text box, I'm going to call that txt search. And then we're going to have our checkboxes. We're going to call them CHK hot, CHK warm, and CHK cold. Then we're going to have our bottoms named btn for bottom, save. I realized we named it at here. You can call it btn add or btn save, it doesn't matter, but in the code in this story I named it btn save. The next one is btn email, and the final one is btn clear. Then we need the label. We're going to call an LBL count, which will count our search results. And then we have our list box. We're going to call that LST clients. And that's it. Now we are ready to code it. Before we do that, let's insert a module here called sub open form. And we can write FRM Mini CRM .show to open the user form. Then go to insert, add a shave, change it to green or whatever color you like, and we can write here open form. So we don't have to go to Visual Basic to open it. Right click, assign macro, open form, and now we open the form. And now it's time to code it. The first thing we're going to code in the form is the user form initialize. This is here where we're going to have some settings for the user form and also set these checkboxes by default to checked. So all the leads are shown, and then you can uncheck them or check them to filter together with the search box here. Double tap on the form, and then we'll go to here on the right and use initialize. So now we're in the user form initialize. Get rid of this. Expand here. We're gonna start with default filters, all checked. We're gonna write chk hot dot value equal true, chk warm dot value equal true, and chk cold dot value equal true. To see what it does here, it's checked all by default when we load it. That's what we did. And then I'm gonna write 4 modules here that we're gonna call into the user form. And I'm gonna comment this out because we haven't coded it yet. Style, user form. Next one, fill status options. Load client list. Set up list box. And then we have our things here. Then we're gonna write private sub, set up list box, and now we can comment this out because we have the module already. So we're gonna write with lst clients, that's our list box, dot column count equal 5, dot column width equal 100 semicolon 100 semicolon 150 semicolon 60 semicolon 80, and string dot text align equal fm text aligned left dot integral height, set that equal false. End with. The next thing we're gonna code here is when we select lead status, we need to populate it with hot, warm, cold to categorize what type of lead we have. That's our fill status options here, the module we have here. So we're gonna write it down here. Private sub fill status options, and remove the comma here to see if it can recognize the code and fill in with capital letters. We're good. It changed it to capital letters just how we wrote it here. That's an easy check you can do. Then we're gonna write cmb status dot clear, cmb status dot add item, write hot, and then just copy paste it and write warm, change this to cold, and that's it. If you want more options, you can always add more lines. And we're gonna set load client list. So basically load this data set from our filtering. Now we have hot, warm, cold, so it will show everything. But this load client list should basically be a combination of what we put in here and what checkboxes we have here. Then it should display it in the list box. And that's what we're gonna code now. We're gonna make some space here. It's a little bit of a longer code, but stay with me because it's pretty cool to learn. Private sub load client list, and immediately go up and activate it here. And you can see it recognizes it. Moving on here, we're gonna dim WS as worksheet. Then we're gonna dim last row as long, comma I as long. Then we're gonna dim total leads as long, comma visible leads as long, from our search filtering as I described before. We're gonna set WS equal this workbook the sheets and write clients. That's our sheet name. Then we're gonna define last row equal ws.cells, ws rows.count, and use first column to set the last row, dot end excel up the row. So now it'll go all the way to the last row. Then we're gonna set total leads equal application dot worksheet function that count a ws dot range b2 colon b and last row in parentheses. Now it counts to the full name. Then we're gonna have lst clients dot clear, and we're gonna have visible leads equal 0, and then we're gonna do for I equal 2 to last row, and dim show row as boolean, and dim name match as boolean, dim status match as boolean, and dim current status as string. And we're going to set name match equal txt search dot value equal blank, or enstr 1 comma ws.cells I comma 2 dot value comma txt search dot value comma vb text compare greater than 0. Then we're going to set current status equal ws.cells I comma 5 dot value. That's the status that is in column E, the fifth column. And we're gonna correct this because it was spelled wrong. Status match. And then we're gonna set status match equal false, and write if chk hot dot value and current status equal hot, then status match equal true, and make sure we spell and correctly. And then we can copy paste this and adjust it. The second line is if warm, if chk warm dot value and current status equal, then status match equal true. The next one, the last one, chk cold dot value and current status equal cold, then status match equal true. Show row equal name match and status match. If show row, then lst clients dot add item ws dot cells I, 2 dot value. That's the full name. And then we have lst clients dot list lst clients dot list count -1, 1 equal ws dot cells I, 3 dot value. That's the company. Let's copy paste this down to speed this up, because we just need to change this to 2 and this to 4. You can use it 2 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Status and number 6 is last contacted. And then we're going to write visible leads equal visible leads +1 and end if next I. And then we're going to update our status label. Let's move this in so it looks better. This is inside our if statement here. We're going to update the label lbl count dot caption. I'm going to change the caption to showing space and string and visible leads and new string off space and string and total leads, and we're going to continue the string space leads. So what it basically is updating, showing how many leads there are. For example, showing 20 leads of total leads. We have 100 in our dataset. Leads, showing 20 leads of 100 leads. We're actually soon ready for our mini test. We just need to double click on the text box search and write load client list. Let's copy paste it. We also need to insert it in each checkbox. Like this. And now we're ready to test it. You can see it's updating, pretty cool. 32, showing 32 of 100 leads, showing 74 of 100 leads. And we can also search for a name. Let's search SA. So you can see the dynamic between the search box here and the three text boxes works, showing the right results here and updating the label accordingly, showing 5 of 100 leads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far, so good. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. I've got way more coming. Let's move on and code the three buttons: the add button, the send email, and the clear form button. Let's start with the more simple one, and that's the clear form. And below the clear button, click. We're just gonna write private sub clear form. And then we're gonna have it in here. This way we can call it from other buttons if we need. So we're gonna set txt full name dot value equal blank, and we're gonna set txt company dot value equal blank, and txt email dot value equal blank, and cmp status dot value equal blank. All right, the next thing is the add button. Double click here, and we call that btn save, but it's basically the add button. So we're gonna write here dim ws as worksheet, set ws equal this workbook dot sheets, and point it to clients. Dim next row as long. Set next row equal ws.cells, ws.rows.count. Select the first column, dot end xl up, dot row plus 1. That's our next free row. Then we're going to do ws.cells, next row, comma 1, dot value equal next row minus 1. That's our ID column that automatically add the next ID number. Then we might as well copy paste this down just to speed this up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is next row, comma 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll have txt full name dot value, txt company dot value, txt email dot value, cmp status dot value, and then we have a date here. And then we have a message box popping up. Client saved. VB information. Clear form. Load client list. And that's it. The last button is the send email. Double click here, and then we're gonna write if lst clients dot list index equal -1, then message box, please select a client first, comma VB information, exit sub, end if. Dim out app as object, comma, outmail as object, set out app equal outlook dot application, set outmail equal out app dot create item 0 with outmail dot 2 equal lst clients the list lst clients dot list index comma 2. That's the correct index for the email. Dot subject, and here you can write a string, whatever you prefer. Follow up from and this workbook dot name, just to keep it simple. Dot body, that's the text of our email. I space and lst clients dot list lst clients dot list index comma 0 and a comma and VB CRLF and VB CRLF and line, just reaching out to follow up, and VB CRLF and VB CRLF and best regards, comma, and VB CRLF and Jacob, or your name, dot display. You can change this to send if you want to send it automatically. End with message box email prepared in Outlook, comma, VB information. 2 quick typo fixes here. Is best regards and lst clients dot list. All right, the last code here is the style useful. I just copy it in. You can just pause it and write it yourself. But what this basically is, it's looking for each control in our controls, do some error handling on error resume to next, set the font name search UI and the font size to 10. Then it looks with a select case for each individual element we have here. We have a text box and a comment box. It sets the back color and forecolor and border style. And command buttons, it sets some color and font equal bold. And then it looks for VTN save and set it, basically looking for the 3 buttons and change the color to 3 different colors. And then the labels sets it with a forecolor and a back color. And checkboxes the same. End select and next control. That's how we style it. And in order for it to be working, you go up and find your user form initialize, activate this we wrote in the beginning, and now it should be working and we are ready to test it. Open form, and you can see it's now half the layout, and we can filter here for cold, warm and hot, and also do a combination here. Or we can only look for a name, for example lead starting with JA, and we can divide it into only warm and cold or only hot. and it finds them accordingly and showing 2 out of 2 leads, 6 out of 2 leads. Let's add a new lead. Alex Morgan. Company code Porch. Alex at, I'm gonna just write example.com so social media doesn't think I share sensible information over an email. Lead status warm, add, client saved, and it clears the form. And if we look for Alex, you can see we have 2 Alex search results, Alexandra and Alex, the one we just added. And if we are about to write a entry here, then we can clear the form here and it clears it. We could also set it to clear the search box. Maybe that will be relevant as well. And that's where we can just go in here and quickly click here and add it to the things it should clear. txt search the value equal blank. And now if we search MA clear form, it also clears the search box. We could also have it to default check everything. But this is simply how you can make a simple CRM form in Excel. If you like this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing and follow me on TikTok to see more behind the scenes builds and automation in Excel. Going to the user form, double click on the user form, go to load client list here, and we're gonna copy paste this line and make sure it has the right data format in case your computer have changed it. So to streamline it, we can write format, parentheses, and then comma, dd line, line, y. And now it should write the right data format when we try entering. We can test it here. John Doe, Apex Solutions, and yeah, just one. Add, client saved, and it has the right data format. Just a quick adjustment, and now we can move on. Let's go to Visual Basic again. And now we're gonna insert an extra text box on the top that shows the ID. And we're gonna lock it so you cannot use it. And the reason why we're gonna need that is when we select in the list box, it should auto-populate all the information back into the form here. With double click here, you should fill in all the information. And then we have an edit button to edit the details. And the most simple way is to make it run through the ID we have here and update the whole row. So that's what we're gonna use that for. So we can move this down a little bit. In fact, maybe expand it a little bit. We're just gonna move it down a little bit. Now we can copy paste the label here and write ID. And copy paste the box. And we can just make it smaller. It doesn't have to be so long. And write txt ID. let's copy paste this. And then in the user form initialize, we can just write me txt id locked equal true. This way we cannot write anything in it, but the code can fill it in with the correct ID. So for example, Jacob here, that would be 3. And then we use that to either update or delete the record. All right. The next thing we're going to code is when you double click here, it should autofill in all the boxes here. So we can edit and so we can update and delete records if we want. You can do that with a single click or double click. We're going to use the double click so you don't accidentally fill in the forms and you have to clear it all the time. So we double click on the list box here and select the double click event. So we can just delete this and write the following. Dim selected index as long. Selected index equal lst clients dot list index. Then we're gonna dim ws as worksheet and set ws equal this workbook the sheets and write clients. Dim last row as long and set last row equal ws dot cells ws rows dot count and select column A. You can also just write 1 dot end xl up dot row. This way it always goes to the last row in our data set. Then we're going to dim I as long, dim target name as string, and set target name equal lst clients dot list selected index, 0. 0 is the first column in our list box. Then we're going to loop to find the row with the full name. For I equal 2 to last row, if ws.cells I, 2 value equal target name, then and then we need to update everything in the loop. Exit 4, end if, and next I. And then we're gonna write txt id dot value equal ws.cells I, 1 dot value, and then we're gonna copy paste it. Like so, and change it. So here we have the full name, the company, the email, the combo box status, and then change this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, a quick test we can run here. Let's say we take the first one. Then it auto-populates with the right ID number 1, and Alejandro Howard, Jenkins Simmons, Shelby79 at example.org, and it's a co-lead. And you can see it keeps updating correctly. 5, Anton Long, warm lead, and so on. So now we can see it's working. And you can see some of it cut out here, which is perfect. We're testing it so we can adjust it. So we're just gonna expand them a little bit, like so. And now we're ready to insert the update and delete button. Then we need to insert the update and the delete button. Let's copy paste this and write update. Copy paste it again and write delete. And then call this button btn update. And call this button btn delete. We can maybe move this down here. And then we have it like this, add, update, delete. We're also going to fix the styling now, so it has the proper colors. We double click here, and then we go to the style here, and we're going to write 2 more select case. That's the good thing about writing select case. We can always add another case. So in case btn update, and then let's copy paste this and change it to orange, which is 255, 193, 7. And let's copy paste this section. And in case we have a btn delete, then we should turn the color into red. And we're going to do that with 220, 53, 69. And now we can see the color has changed. Now we're going to code the update button, which is pretty cool. So we can update leads going from cold leads to warm leads and hot leads, or change email address, or some spellings we have done. And we're going to code this button with dim ws as worksheet, set ws equal this workbook dot sheets clients, and then we're going to dim target row as long, and set target row equal clng txt id dot value +1. Now we're going to use a with statement for the sheet with ws dot sales target row, 2 dot value equal txt full name dot value. And we can write the rest of the lines down here. Copy paste it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And change this to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the next thing we have here is the company. Then we have our email. And then we have the combo box status, the CMB status, and our date. And we're gonna write it with the right format. Date, DD, MM, YY, YY. End with, and then let the user know client updated. Clear form and load client list from our two modules, clearform and load client list. And now we can test it. All right, let's test what we could just code it. So let's just pick row number 3. And let's just make a very obvious test to see if it's working. Test 1, test 2, test 3, and change the cold lead to hot. Update, client updated, and you can see here that it changed to test 1, test 2, test 3, and changes to hot lead, and change the date to today's date, the 26th of October. And you can see here that it automatically fills in the boxes above. All right, then we are coding the delete button. In case we want to delete some records here, for example the test we just did, then we should be able to delete it. And it should also prompt you to ask you, are you sure, in case you click by mistake. So we're going to double click on the delete button and write the following. If txt id dot value equal blank, then exit sub. That just means you haven't selected anything to delete. Dim confirm delete as VB message box result, the first one here. Confirm delete equal message box. Are you sure you want to delete this client? Question mark, end of string, comma, VB yes or no, plus VB question, comma, confirm delete. If confirm delete VB no, then exit sub. Shouldn't do anything if you click no. Are you sure you want to delete this client? No. Then you shouldn't perform anything. It should exit sub. Then we're going to dim ws as worksheet and set ws equal this workbook the sheets clients dim title row as long and target row equal clng txt id dot value +1, that's the id row 2, ws dot rows target row dot delete, and then we can write a message box client deleted, comma VB information, clearform, load client list. One small add we need to do before we run a test is inside our user form we have our clear form, but it should also be clearing txt id value equal blank. You should also clear that box when we clear or delete and update and filter. It goes into clear module and also should clear the ID. And now we're ready for a test. So we have from our previous code the filtering here, and it works perfect. And now we can also update it as we seen before. And now we can test the delete button. Are you sure you want to delete this client? No, nothing happens, but yes, we are sure. Client deleted. Removed, and all boxes are cleared. Now as you can see, we went from 102 leads to 101 leads. So this is how you can build a mini CRM form. Now with update and add button. If you like this video, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. I have way more videos coming and you don't want to miss it. Now your CRM can update, delete and manage leads just like a real system. We'll add a notes field, sorting features and export functionality so you can generate real reports from your client list. In the last part we built the core of the client manager, saving, adding, deleting and searching clients, leveling it up with 3 useful features. A new notes field for extra client details, an export button to save your data as a new file, and a sort button to quickly organize your list A to Z and Z to A. Let's go to Visual Basic. Alright, let's go to Visual Basic and add our note field here. So let's just expand this a little bit. We can also expand it here. We will need to have room for the notes here. Then we can just move everything down here. And do a text box. Expand it so there's room for notes. And it's important that you change multi-line false to true so we can write multiple lines. Copy paste the label, write notes, update our sheet here, set our filter. Then we need to update our save button so it adds the notes. So we're just gonna write an extra line here and change this to 7 and write txt notes.value. The same goes for update. We also need to update that. So we've done most of the work, so we just need to adjust it. Now you're also going to learn how you adjust your code. Oops. And write txt notes.value. We need to change the text box name to txt notes. And now you can see it's working. Let's write a small n here and see it corrects it. And it should also be doing that over here in the update. You see txt notes with small n, and now it changed it. So it's working. Then it's also important that we update the list box. So when we double click on the list box, it doesn't enter the text box, the notes. Let's update and test that right away. And just write a test, update, client updated. So ID 2 has the test and we cannot see it in the list box yet. We need to also make it populate. So we write here txt notes.value equal ws.cells I, 7 is the 7th column, dot value. double click here and set up list box here. We have 6 columns now, and then we can write semicolon 150, and then we also need to go to load client list. And copy paste this line, basically lst clients.list list clients.list count -1 from the 5th column equal ws cells I, 7. That's the note. So when we open here, you can see the test here, and it also populates it. Let's run a test 2 and update, and it updates. So it seems to be working. There's something with the list box here. We need to do some changes. Like so. Alright, the next thing is the export button to Excel. Let's just copy paste this button, put it up here, and write export, and name it btn export. Double click on it. Alright, this is the export code where we dim the worksheet, set the ws equal this workbook.js, and use the client sheet. Dim export wb as workbook, and set export wb workbook at Excel bath worksheet. And then we're gonna copy the whole range into A1, dim timestamp a string, and generate a timestamp using a format now yyy mmdd/hhmms, which is basically just this year, month, date, /hour, month, seconds. So it's a unique timestamp each time. Then we dim export path as string, export path this workbook /client export, and timestamp. And remember the .xlsx file format. And then we do an application display alerts false, export saves file name to the folder path, and application display alert true, export wb close save changes equal false, and messages box export to the export path and VB information. And we can see it here in action. Export. We also need to change the color here, but for now let's just export, test that out. Export to, and this is the folder, and with the timestamp. So it seems to be working, and we can see here the new file is generated right now, 5:30 almost. And here we have the data. And in our style use form module, we're just gonna update the case select and write another case btn export. ctrl dot backcolor equal rab 102, 16, 242. And now we also set the export color. Moving on. By the way, if you're enjoying this and want the full version with filters, sorting, better styling, and a PDF guide, I've got an upgraded version available on Est. It's plug and play and works only on Windows. Links in the description if you want to support the channel and save more time. Alright, the next thing we're gonna do is copy paste the add button, put it down here, and write sort. Then we're gonna label it btn sort, because now we're gonna code the sort button so we can sort your data. First double tap on the use form, goes to the very top and declare private sort asting as boolean. Then we go to a sort button, and here's the code. Sort ascending equal not sort ascending. If sort ascending, then they change the caption on the button to sort A to Z, else change the caption to sort Z to E. Then write this sub module inside the user form, private sub sort by name, theme WS as worksheet, set WS equal this workbook and the clients. It's all the same we've been doing throughout the tutorial. And now use the width to WS and sort it. Sort fields clear and sort fields dot add. Here's how we have our sorting key where we sort from column B and order. If sort ascending, then XL ascending, else XL descending. Data option equal sort normal. I set range to A1 to G and the last row. Header equal LX yes, match case equal false dot apply. And this is connected to this line we wrote on top. And now let's go to our sub module where we style the use form. Copy paste this in case we have btn sort. Then we set the back color to RGB 255, 87, 34, which is orange. Let's run a test. You can see it's orange. We'll click sort A to Z, sort Z to A. This is pretty cool. And then we go to the user form also, double click here and go to the user form initialize, because we need to change the caption so its default is shown correctly. We write btn sort.caption equal sort A to Z, sort ascending equal true. So now you can see it's working. Alright, and now it's time to put it all together. And you can see here it populates, but the clear form is not taking the note when we're clearing. That's the missing part of this tutorial. So we have to click here and we have to clear form here. txt notes dot value equal blank. And now it's working. Pretty cool what we have been building here. Congratulations if you made it so far. I hope you will give this video a like and comment your ideas below if you have suggestions. I read all of my comments and try to respond to most of them. That wraps up our mini CRM build in Excel. You now have a working system with save, edit, delete, notes, sorting, exporting, everything you need to start managing clients right inside Excel. If you'd like to upgrade to a more advanced version with extra features and a cleaner design, I built one. You can grab it on Etsy, link in the description. And if you're into Excel tools like this, check out some of the other builds and tutorials here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.